Hey everybody, welcome to PDQ Live. Our lights didn't turn out, so I wasn't sure when did I time it right?
No, yeah, you're good.
Okay, nailed it. All right. Today we're gonna dive into how to get the most out of collections and reports.
Yes.
Those are extremely powerful in inventory, and we get the feeling that a lot of it's underused. So we're just going to kind of go over some of the basics to help you build your best version.
Yeah. Where do we start?
Reports.
What
Variables.
Okay, variables. They're kind of tricky sometimes, right?
We start without collections or reports and go right into variables.
Okay, so tell me what a variable is. Let's start there.
All right, well, so there's two types of variables. I'm going to open that up now.
Okay.
And I realized we didn't actually test if I was sharing the screen, so let's find out together.
Let's find out. It's a good starting point.
Oh, look at that. We did it.
We're there.
All right, so we have system variables.
Okay.
These are everything that we update on our end. So anything that's within our collection or our package library, we're going to update the variables as the updates come in. So that will update for you and everybody. It just makes it so your collections and everything update without you having to have any hands-on.
The easy way.
The easy way, yeah.
Okay, I like that.
But then we have custom variables, which apparently we're highlighting next week's with our variables already.
I made these, yeah.
There we go. And these are ones that you can build where you can do a lot of the same functionality. So you do need to update them yourselves, but it's a way you can have a similar thing. It makes it so instead of going into 32 collections and 3 schedules and updating individually, you update one variable and everything that touches that variable updates on its own.
So I do it once instead of a whole bunch of times. Okay.
So if you're just starting out, the variables don't seem useful out the gate because it's just a one-to-one relationship. But as you build out your environment, the more complex it gets, the more you get out of having robust variables.
So I would do this if it wasn't something in the system variable library, yes?
Yes.
If I had something I ran in my environment, this is something I could use for a variable.
Yep. So whether it's a package where we don't have it in the library or a specific collection where you're tracking, this is one where just you fill it out.
Okay. Makes sense.
So if we build just a test one, which you don't have to put the @ and everything, we'll wrap that for you.
Right.
It's 1, 2, 3, 4, because this is the height of creativity.
So the name and then the value, I add the value over
name
here.
There, the value.
Okay.
And then I'm going to go put the same thing in deploy just because I want to showcase that it is possible with just a little bit of work to update both from one line, which that's a big complaint. The separation is there for a reason. There's a lot of times where they do sync up and it makes sense to have that happen, but there are times where there is some differences. And so we don't have anything in there to update both. But I did create some PowerShell where we can
surprising. Can I go back for 1 second? I want to point something out. There's no save button. You just hit close and it saves it on the variables.
Yeah, so if you don't close out, if you don't like click out of the window to when another bar shows up, then it hasn't saved and it won't be there.
Yeah.
So and this one 9, 8, 7, 6 or 4 apparently.
Okay, so you did it in inventory, then you go back and you do it in deploy as well. Okay. Different value.
For my example, I'll come out right and say test is a terrible name.
No, I love it. It's great.
Everything should be explanation of what you are, a naming scheme. So in ours, if you look through it, we have a lot of, I think Marcel put it in there too, where we have like the name of the software and then whether it's a version or if it's actually just the name of it. So it syncs out, so it's the same thing, so you can go over and over.
Yeah, okay.
Test is bad. If you name your variables test or A, you're not getting a lot of value out of that.
Yeah, has to make sense.
But I was just doing this quick just so we could showcase, and here's the PowerShell. It's going to ask me, what's the name of the variable, what's the new value, and then it's going to go into each, and it's going to update that, he said, hopefully. That's the name, test. If there is a typo, I undid my code. There we go. It's back. Down there. Not Control Z test. Just test.
Just test.
And then the new value is bacon because it's delicious.
It is.
Now it's going to go through. It's going to update the variables for both products, except for I didn't close my variables on one of them, so it did not run that one. Let's see. What was it? Deploy? Yeah, deploy. I didn't close it there.
So closing saves it.
So closing save it. If it's open, it locks the variable, so you can't do the update.
Okay.
So if I come and rerun it now. For the actual example, it's still test, but now it's ham. We've lost bacon due to errors. All right, so if we go in now and look at the variables for each one, it did update that one. So it is a quick bit of PowerShell where you can update both. You do have to know the name of the variable you're updating, which is a little bit. If you're putting in further automation and you're starting to automate things, which is something we'll cover in in the future webcasts.
Maybe next week?
Yeah, maybe next week.
Oh, okay.
Then you can have it where it automatically inputs that variable name based on the product that it's in there. But for a one-off, the best we can do is you put in the variable name and then you can update both products.
Okay. Is there a way, I'm going to throw this out there. What if I wanted to update 2 at the same time? Can I do that?
I didn't write it to accept multiple arguments, so you just have to run the script twice, which makes sense because if you were updating 2 variables, but you needed to update like different values, if you just put 2 variables in one value, it would update not necessarily the right thing. So having it run for each variable is kind of the best I got for now.
Okay.
All right. Let's see. So the other part about variables, because that's just a quick rundown of where the value is, but what variables can actually do is quite powerful. And one of those is, and watch this thing and bring bacon back.
The pipe.
The pipe. So ham bacon. So at this, if as a string, that's just ham, pipe, bacon, doesn't mean anything. But if you run this in some sort of collection or report where you say matches expression, you're telling it to use regex, and the pipe in regex is or. So instead of just having to make a different filter for each thing, you can have one variable that says it could be ham or bacon.
So now I'm looking at 2. Okay.
Apparently I'm hungry, by the way.
Apparently.
I'm on to breakfasts.
Do you like ham or bacon better? Yep. I got to know.
So, but with regex,
bacon all the way, man.
Tough things. All right, so on a one-to-one, bacon's better, but it is so overused that I could do without bacon sometimes.
Oh, interesting.
It is the most overrated addition to a meal in history.
But standalone.
Don't ever say that again.
Standalone, though, right?
Yeah. Standalone, yes, bacon.
Okay.
All right, now that we're done with that one. So the problem is I say regex and the pipe is or, and that seems easy. But as we all know, if you ask someone, hey, I have a question on regex, you're going to get a very unpleasant response back.
Yeah. It seems like a very touchy subject. Does anyone really understand it? Tell me the truth.
So Shane and Lex both had a pretty good grasp of regex where they could do it live. If you ask me a regex question live, I'll say I'd have to get back to you.
Yeah, I reached out to all the developers here to get cheat sheets for our viewers, and they all started sending me sad emojis. Really, they did.
So it is extremely powerful. You can do so much with it, but it's not intuitive. To spend enough time in regex for it to be intuitive is just an unhappy life, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So it is extremely powerful. There's things like regex 101 where you can go through and do things.
We're going to include that, yeah.
Or you can do, I'm going to try AI.
Oh, I was just going to say, is this a great case for AI? Just ask AI.
So if I spell it right, we're going to do ipconfig. All right, so I have that string because I didn't use the PowerShell command, which would have returned an object.
Okay.
So if I was to ask AI for this where I just want the IP address, we're going to do AI, what is the regex to pull IP from? And I'm going to paste in the results there. Make sure I get the closing quote. And
so you're going to ask AI to strip out just one piece of that. Is that what you're doing?
Yep. So it came back right there with the string of regex. If we want to test it, we could do $A equals ipconfig. And then $A match, which is how I say use regex. And we're going to find out if AI was correct.
Big money.
And put quotes just to be safe. There you go. So it wasn't an exact match we were looking for, but it stripped all of the text we want and it pulled in some relevant data there. So AI can be a fine tool to help you get a start, but you're still going to require some work. That's where 101 is going to come in.
Yeah, you would just fine tune that. So you would ask it and then you would fine tune that. Okay, makes sense.
I mean, they all are 4 octets. I can understand the differentiating between IP address and something that's 4 octets.
Yeah,
would be difficult. But yeah, so regex it's difficult. There's a lot of things. If you are looking to fine tune large sets of data, regex is the answer. Just how much pain you're going to go through to get that answer is an unknown quantity.
Yeah. Okay. Makes sense.
All right. So the other one within there is you can do patterns, which it sounds similar, but basically for us particularly, we say matches patterns and matches expression. It's an asterisk is one or many characters, and a question mark is a single character.
Asterisks is one or many characters, so wildcards.
Yeah, so those are 2 wildcards. And so you can build a string based on it meets these parameters. And I have a couple of things I can showcase on that one to kind of, in fact, let's do it now since we're talking about it.
Can I ask one more question?
Absolutely.
On the pipe, can I use that multiple times?
Yes, you can put.
How many?
As many as you want. Because it's just going to say or. So any one of those things. So when if we go back to WannaCry. Yeah.
Okay.
Long time ago.
That was horrible.
Every single monthly update contained the fix for WannaCry. But we built a collection around that one so people could make sure that they weren't open to that threat, which was significant. So every time there's a new update, we'd go and add the new KB to our variable on our side. So every time when they updated, it wouldn't report that they're now vulnerable to WannaCry because of the new KB. So we could keep on adding the pipe another option as long as we need. Because it basically you're just saying any one of these is fine. So
it was just enormous.
Yeah.
And that was fine.
Yep.
That's pretty cool. Okay. I like that.
Yep. So if we wanted to see an example of I said pattern, right?
Yeah, you said we're on to patterns.
I'm going to go to Adobe.
Yep. Let's do Adobe Reader. I like Adobe Reader.
So I'm not gonna write my own because it's been done for me. So if we open up for Adobe Reader here, we have this variable here for the classic pattern, which if we come over here, and this is going to be hard to read, I'm sorry, but it's basically asterisk star asterisk or asterisk dot 30 asterisk. And basically for Adobe Reader, the way it identifies between Adobe Classic and not is the last set of their 3 separated by dots starts with 30, it's classic, starts with 20, it's the regular.
Okay.
So this pattern says everything up to the first dot, we don't care. Everything through the second dot, we don't care. After that, if it starts with 30, it's classic. And if we went and looked at the regular one, it would say dot 20.
Okay.
So and so the pattern is basically saying an asterisk, it can be whatever, we don't care, as long as after the second dot is 30, we know it's classic.
Okay.
So it's not as complex as regex. It's also far less powerful, but it is a quick and dirty way to kind of dive in there.
Can I just slow you down for 1 second in case this is someone's first time watching? When you click on the bolded blue X, that's going to show you the system variables, right?
Well, you have all the system as well as your custom ones you want there, so you can quickly add them.
So this question actually was posed in Discord today. They were having trouble. They wanted to make a report with a filter. So in case this is your first time watching, if you click on those blue X's, that's where you're going to find all of the variables that you'll need to build these reports. Right?
Yep. Everything that we handle on the system will show up there. Anything they've built will also be there, just under a different.
This was a first-time person, so I just wanted to call that out.
Yep. And we have people talk about Control F. So instead of just searching up top there, Control F opens up a bit more intelligent filter option.
Oh, that's nice.
On the right thing.
Okay, good. That'll be helpful as well. Okay.
Yeah, right there, where that you can contain some logic within your filter instead of just where I put Adobe.
Nice.
Thank you for Marcel and Tim for that one. That is something that's worth looking into because you can add a lot of complex logic within your own filter on that case to add some things. Yeah,
for sure. I like that.
So if we want to show, I guess we'll show where we use regex as well.
Okay.
We'll open up Office. So right here, matches expression. It's doing regex. And so we're saying start with Microsoft Office. And then this is basically saying doesn't contain viewer or doesn't contain web components. So
we're excluding all of those.
Yeah, so it's a way to go into where you can check for Office where you're avoiding the things you care less about. It's just a little bit way to fine tune it a little bit.
I hate that. Can I just tell you I hate that? That seems so dumb to me.
Well, that's just the way with regex is. It is so complex and it's not easy to use. But if you need to fine tune through a wide variety of data possibilities or a massive amount of data, regex is the answer.
But how about just for funsies, I just include what I want instead of excluding 70,000 things?
Then the next time Microsoft changes or modifies something, then your filtering will break.
Well, that should be about 17 seconds. Okay, gotcha. All right. Hey, we were going to talk about nested collections and we didn't. Can we do that?
You want to talk about nested collections?
Yeah, because I think that kind of comes up a lot. Can we do that just quickly?
Okay, so we use those a lot in the collection library.
Yeah.
So if we'll just go, I'm going to use internet browsers because it's easier from here on out.
Okay.
So nested collections are just basically sub-collections below. There is an option you can check right there. It's great because I copied that one. I'll actually do with that instead. Let's do, for Chrome Enterprise, we want to duplicate. All right, so now if we go to Chrome Enterprise, you do have an option here where you can say drill down from parent. So you can say, So the first one, you're grabbing just X number of computers. It could be even a static one where if you know there's 5 computers you want only to impact. And then you can just drill down from that. So any sort of logic you put in after that or in a sub-collection will only be based on what's in the parent.
Okay.
We don't normally do that. If we go into the next one with Chrome Enterprise Latest, we never drill down. We just reuse a lot of the same logic.
Okay.
And I wish I had read up more on why. There's very smart people that explained that doing it this way was better for them.
Okay.
But if you're looking for just a quick and dirty or you only want a very specific subset, drilling down from parent is a lot of value on that one.
Okay. So if I'm new to this, am I going to think it's like a nested OU? Is that a good way to keep it straight in my mind?
Kind of, yeah.
Just kind of contained?
Yeah, so if you check the box, it's like a nested OU. If you uncheck the box, then even the ones below it, it's still a brand new collection, and you're going to have to re-put the logic for the one above it.
Yeah. Okay. Makes sense. Okay. Perfect. Like that.
All right.
Now, for the expressions, we're including cheat sheets, right? We've got 2 resources
the
in
regex
case.
101, yeah.
Okay.
And I just showed the AI. Like, it wasn't perfect, but it was a great starting point.
Great starting
I
point.
wouldn't have come up with that string today. So it's handy.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So we've got, Kelly's going to include those in the bonus content. So anyone that really wants to learn that, they can.
It's worth knowing. It's very powerful. It's like Marcel said, it's matching patterns. So no matter how big your data set is, no matter what it is, if you're looking for a very specific pattern and you can write the right expression,
Yeah.
then all the other data doesn't matter. It's going to pull out what you want.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. Okay. What else we're going to cover in here?
Well, so for the next one, a lot of things we see is people will rebuild collections just for different versions. Like, so for Chrome, if they had certain versions they had to keep for some reasons, it would be multiple collections all for a different version, which is nice, but I feel like it's taking up valuable space.
You don't like messy.
I don't.
No.
I don't. So the way I'd like to do that is instead of using a collection for something like that would be a report.
Okay. Let's make a report.
So if we go into, we'll just use, I'm using Chrome, right?
Yeah.
A new report off of that. So we're right now Chrome. This is every machine that has Chrome, and we're going to say Chrome by version. That seems like a good title.
I like it.
All right, and we're going to want, for the columns, we obviously need the computer name, and then we're going to want application name and application version.
Because you don't want to have 17 reports and I want to export out 17 reports and this is all my versions of Chrome. This one's going to have it all together.
Yes.
Okay.
So and then that's just the columns. That's what's going to show up in the report. The filters is where we fine tune the data.
Yep.
And I'm going to change that to an any. We're going to see if I actually remember this live.
Let's do it. Let's do
I
it.
did not. So we want to make sure on this table, let's see, application name contains, or we'll do matches pattern because I don't want to go and look up what Chrome has. Contains Chrome. Asterisk. I need to put asterisk on each side so I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, you don't want to have to dig around.
All right, and then we're going to put a different subfilter. I want to put that down, which is all. And boy, this is a bad time for me to draw a blank. We want to do member of that collection. I mean, in this case, I'm running it from the collection, but if you want to run it all the time for any collection, you want to go to, there's 2 ways to grab members of collections.
Okay. I know you like one better.
So member of collection is not my favorite because it's a little bit weird. You have the name and description, but you have all these same filters. If instead of that, if you go to the computer table and then select collection, it's is member of or is not member of.
Yeah, show me the easy way. Is this the easy way?
It's easy, and I believe it is also faster.
Okay, I like that one.
So if we come down there and is a member of Chrome. So all that. So it's going to find any machine that has Chrome, but we'll grab the member from that. So we're going to try running that report. Which, see, I missed the Chrome part. Let's go back to the define. Is it because I got my indies and alls backwards?
Maybe.
It is, because, yeah, it's all. Let's do. We're gonna try to make a quick swap. If you're wondering if filter comes natural to me, this answers that question. There we go. I got my indies and alls.
Yeah, we did it.
All right, so this is all the machines. This is Chrome. This is the version. Then you can come in here and you can do group by this column. And that's all of the versions of Chrome you have out there. As you can see, we don't have any up to date.
And then we're going to expand these out, right? And then we can export it.
Yeah, so if you want to see which one has which one, or which version. Yeah. So for me,
Yeah.
if it's coming down to it, I'd rather just have who has Chrome, and then we have the sub-collection with that, who has which Chrome. And then I'd rather use a report to start grabbing the groups of data on who's out of date and why.
Yeah.
So for me, I would rather have collections grab the base if you're doing any fine-tuning reports. And then also with those reports, it's where you can export it out, give it to managers or...
And I would.
Yeah, because collections is going to be limited to people that have access to a deployer inventory.
Yeah.
And reports you can send to anybody.
Yeah. So when they say, what's taking you so long? What do you guys do all day? I'll be like, this is what I do all day. I love this.
Yeah, I like this one a lot.
Okay.
So that's kind of my view on reports. I'd prefer that. And like I said, even from reports, you could actually do a new collection from reports, and it's just going to remove everything but the filters and build the same thing.
I like that you kind of had to fine tune it, Jordan, because there's so many things to choose from. Sometimes you just have to play around and find the one that works best.
So filters in particular isn't always intuitive to me. I know generally what I want, but as you saw, I had my innies and my alls flips, and once I got it back, it was fine.
Yeah. And I want to tell you, there are tons of blogs out there to kind of talk you through this too. I was actually looking at them this morning. There's a whole bunch of different ones to help you select the right ones.
Yeah, so I do like that. The last part I kind of want to cover is I use a static report. Let's say every environment has their 3 computers that are still on Windows XP. They can't be updated for any reason. This has to be this version of the software. And we want to make sure we never run against those machines.
Don't update it. Yeah.
So in that case, what I want to do is I do a static collection. I could also do a dynamic collection where I build a variable with the pipe for each machine I want to save.
Okay.
But in this case, we're going to say Charles McGill because JJ gets mad at me if I do anything against Charles McGill.
He's seething right now.
And Babbitt because it's the one that's on top that I'm not worried about running against.
Okay.
So we're going to name this...
No touchy.
No touchy. I was going to go super special.
Okay. Either one. Yeah.
Yeah, these are the ones that... So these are the 2 machines we never want to touch. And of course, I put it in the wrong area. Right there. There we are. Super specials in there. So now I'm going to build the dynamic collection, and this time I'm going to come up top so it actually goes into the right area. Dynamic collection, and we're going to use the table we're just talking about where it's computer collection. And then is member of Google Chrome old. Where am I at there?
So what we're telling it now is if you are a member of this group, computer
So if they
Chrome
have
old,
a version of Google Chrome that is an older version, and then we're going to add another one, the same thing collection, but this time
and
is
you
not
are
a member of super special. And then I suppose I should name that upgradable Chrome. My names are terrible. Honestly, if my job depended on naming things, I would be fired.
You'd be in big trouble.
But if we go into upgradable Chrome now, you can see that it keeps all the machines in there except for it removes the ones, Babbitt and the other one. Apparently I failed to scan recently on those.
But that would be a way to exclude those 2 machines.
Yes, exclude those 2. So now if you build your scheduling, yes, there's Babbitt and Charles McGill, they're not in upgradable. So now if you build your scheduling to run against this collection, you're still hitting all the machines that need it, but you're protecting those that don't.
Yeah.
That you have to protect.
But I would need to do that for every software that I don't want to upgrade, right? For sure.
So for every software, but the advantage of that is since the machines are going to stay the same, you just have to once again point them to that same collection you built of the super special.
Yeah.
So it's just a nice way to go through and I guess keep the machines that can't, because everyone has those computers that have to have very special versions of software.
That's true.
If you don't, congratulations. I am very jealous.
Do you think I would ever keep Windows XP around in my environments?
XP? Well, I know it's likely to happen at like hospitals where life-saving equipment runs on old versions of...
But do you think I would ever do it?
Would you?
Yeah.
Yes.
No. Oh my, that hurts, Jordan. Never.
I would say environment dependent.
No. I would throw the biggest fit in the history of the world.
All right, well, back to the hospital example. If you're working at a hospispital, you could throw that fit.
I would pull the plug.
But they're not going to. Your anger versus the lives of people is. I mean, it's close. It's
XP
close.
versus
MRI machine
Flatline
versus Terra.
It is close. It is close. All right, should we go to Connect?
Yeah, so that's kind of everything is a baseline for this one, but now we want to show how it works in Connect just because that is also an awesome product.
It is. I love Connect. Okay, did I save the bookmark? That's the first question.
Well, I kept it up and running.
Oh, you're the best. Okay, I want to show you, we have a couple new things that are available. So should we start? I made a extra special group just for you, Jordan. I called it Web.
I was going to say Weeb. That seems
Weeb.
harsh.
It's called Weeb. And now it's not there. Oh, I'm in the wrong iteration, aren't I? Let's go to our group. Okay, so.
I'm sure I didn't delete it. I thought you did Zoom is what you named it.
Oh, no, I made one called Web. Did you delete our group? Okay, we'll make a new one.
Did I delete?
That's rude, Jordan.
No, I didn't delete.
That's so upsetting. That's okay. Okay, so we'll start with Zoom. So if we come over here and look at filters, these are going to be the same kind of things. So right here, software name contains Zoom. But just like in inventory and deploy, over here, if I click on the variable in Connect, I have name variables and I have version variables. But if I click over here, I didn't put the variable in here. So should we do that?
Let's do it.
Let's fix it. So if I type Zoom, you're going to see I have two different ones. So here's the app version. Actually, there's three, but we're going to pick this one, name. But now I've got to fix it, right? I've got to take this out.
Yeah, clicking the X doesn't remove what you had typed in
Right.
previously,
Yeah.
just adds to the end.
So I'm going to fix this guy. I made a mistake though, huh?
Oh, yeah, or?
Yep.
So we
gotta change that
want
to
it
end.
both to be Zoom and the version.
Yep. So this one's looking for an old version of it. So let's apply this, update it. So that's one way to do it. I'm going to show you, which was the one that I did the billions of filters? I can't remember now.
It was one of your windows.
It was this one. Okay, so this is an example of the grouping, right? Filter groups. So you'll see I have a whole bunch in here. So I like this new feature quite a bit. So you can add a filter group. So you see this one has a lot of variables in here. So this one is saying if the device OS contains Windows 10, and this one I didn't use a variable, but you can. It's looking for this particular version. This, of course, is a variable. This is called a filter group. Should we just make one from scratch?
Sure.
Okay.
It is worth pointing out, right now, Connect does not have the ability to do your own custom variables. We have access to the full system variables that we have in our products, but custom is not something that's there yet.
Right, that's correct. Yeah, but I actually really like this because it's a way to separate it out and compare it. So you notice this says or. So it's looking at this subset of data or this subset of data. So I really like that. So let's make one from scratch. So I'm going to come over here and say create a group. And then I'm going to hit add a filter group.
So when you hit create a group, did that go based off the group you currently had highlighted, or did it just go global?
It's going to be a new group. Yeah.
Okay.
It's going to be a new group. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to hit. So I say I want three. Oops, sorry, I hit the wrong thing. I'm going to have 3 criteria. And then I'm going to hit another filter group right here. And then I'm going to put 2 more criteria. And then I'm actually going to come back and get rid of this top one. So now I have these 2 filter groups, right? So now I can call it, what do we want to search for?
You know, I had to come up with my own stuff.
That's
Now
rude.
it's your turn to fly.
Okay.
Seat of your pants.
Let's do software name contain. So let's come over here and use our variables. So, 7-zip's right on the top. We always use 7-zip. But so that's a variable for application name. So now let's come back over here and do software again. So software name. Now we're going to do version. Let's find version though. So I want to come over here and do version. And you can change this. We're just going to do contains because we don't have that much time. But so now I want to look for version. Now watch 7-zip isn't going to have a version though.
Well, it's alphabetical, and 7 is the first letter of the alphabet.
Good call, Jordan. Okay, so now we have a name variable and we have a version variable. So that's just another example. This probably isn't going to be the best one to show filter groups, but you get the gist of it, right? So the example we used initially is probably a really good one to show filter groups, but that would be how you basically use those 2 variables to differentiate.
I just was looking if we could do based on existing groups yet. Not yet.
Not that I can tell, but you know what we can do that you're going to love?
All right.
You ready to see the new functionality? Watch this. So on this version, we're going to click on this. So anything that says version in here, when I hover, look, it tells you the version. Do you love that?
22.01. So it just gives it to you there.
Yeah, I love that.
That is nice. So whether or not it pops up, it does update when we update it. But if you're curious what it is without having to go research, you can just hover over and it will
I kind of like that.
It's always nice to be able to pull data quickly and easily.
But you're going to like something else even better.
All right, I'm ready.
You ready? Okay, so let's come back over to packages and let's create a package. Actually, I made one for you, didn't I? This is where it was, Jordan. You didn't delete my thing. I accused you unfairly. That was rude of me, wasn't it?
That shocks me.
Okay, so you can now you can make nested packages, number one. I thought you'd be pretty excited about that.
I'm very excited about nested packages.
Yeah, I thought you would be. So I made this package for you. So this is all normal, but now I can add different file steps. So I knew you'd be pretty excited about that. So here's my PowerShell
in there.
Well, yeah, because I'm really good at PowerShell. Look, you can do file copy steps now. So look what I did.
Jordan Yoda is an important addition to any. Is that? You say you did this for me. Is this real software? Because I have never heard of.
Well, I just picked the first one that I found. I don't even know what it did, but it worked. I deployed it to Steve, and in fact, there is a picture of you on Steve.
Which is important.
Pick, yes. Yeah. Then you can add a reboot step, and you can reorder these too. You can reorder the file steps. So I like all of these things. I never hold down long enough, so that's just me being an idiot, but you can reorder it. So nested packages, PowerShell, reboot. So I love all that stuff. And the copy step.
Okay.
So if you want to copy files, anything you want to the remote computer, love all that.
All right. Well, now that we have spoken nonstop, do we have any questions that have come in?
You know what? You guys have done such a good job. There's only one question, and I think it's for a feature that is not available, but let's give it a try anyway. Are we ready?
Good.
All right, it says, hello, question regarding reports. If the content of the report is empty, report on XLS format, how do we avoid sending the email with an empty file?
Don't send the email?
No, the deploy does it no matter what. So this is one of the most requested features ever, and I don't know the timeline on such things, but I agree it would be awesome if a blank report didn't send out the email. Mm-hmm. But unfortunately, within the project right now, we don't have the ability around that quite yet.
Sorry, gosh. We get one question.
Well,
we have a terrible answer for it.
It's a letdown. I'm sorry.
Upsetting.
Yeah, so I agree, and I think it's requested a lot for a reason. There's many people that would love for reporting to have a little bit more logic to say, don't bother me if there's nothing new. Mm. But believe me, the moment we have that will be the webcast topic, and I will be thrilled covering it.
Who's in charge of that? Should I go to their office right now?
Yeah, let's see if that works. Maybe you can accuse them of deleting things.
I'll go badger them right after this.
All right, so that's pretty much everything that we have on this one. Mm-hmm. So the goal on this one was to kind of set a framework on how you can build up more complex or use collections and schedules. Mm-hmm. Next week, I'm going to use a lot of these principles, and we're going to automate software that's not in the package library. Mm-hmm. I think Discord is the one we're going to use. So this is just kind of here's how we can do it. Next week, I'm going to implement a lot of what we covered here, and I'm going to build out an entire process to automate something that normally would require some hands-on.
Awesome.
But that's kind of everything for this week. Hopefully this helps get started. Go make the best collections you can. Make PDQ its best version. For PDQ, I'm Jordan.
I'm Tara.
Thanks for joining our webcast today. If you like what you've seen today, like and subscribe, comment, and please join us on Discord. Have a fantastic week, and we'll see you back here next time.